Hello everyone. Happy Sunday in a new week of coming blessing. Thank you very much for taking time to attend the 2017 Yami Konko Dai Grand Ceremony of the Konko Church of Chicago. As always, I hope each and every one of you are enjoying good health and excellent spirit on this beautiful autumn morning. The animal of this year of the Asian lunar calendar is the rooster. But do you know what happened to our founder on the year of the rooster 144 years ago in 1873? It was the 6th year of the Meiji era. And in the Konko faith, it is remembered as the year of the greatest ordeal in our founder's life. The Meiji government ordered Konko Daijin to remove all of the altar fixtures. He did so and sat behind the worship place. The government totally denied our founder's way of connecting people with Kami as he has been doing. It was as if his life and Japan would come to an end. He stood at the crossroads of his life of faith. At first, he felt he would fall in the depths of despair, but Kami told him, take a rest and don't feel disappointed. But after being denied by the government, he quickly accepted this as Kami's will and devoted himself single-heartedly to looking within his own heart to seek and understand Kami's heart from this event. He said to himself, what are Kami's intentions in this? Even if there is no prayer here, no mediator, no matter what happens, we will still be able to receive Kami's divine blessings at any time or place. Kami didn't reply to this inner conversation of Konko Daijin for more than 3 weeks. But because of the silence of Kami, our founder found himself feeling more deeply and trusting Kami's wisdom and silence more completely. He came to believe this was Kami's work. At the same time, Kami carefully watched over him without saying anything. Then the time was ripe. Kami finally found in him the person to whom Kami would express Kami's true feelings and reveal the unprecedented truths of Kami's. The divine reminder was revealed to our founder for the first time in human history. Divine reminder. From then on, our founder put the divine reminder into practice in his daily life for 10 years. The year Konko Daijin died, he wrote this impressive poem to his older son Hagio Konko. The true way of Konko has been made clear, shine through heaven and will last forever. What a marvelous conviction our founder had about this true way of Konko. It is a way based totally on the divine reminder. It leads us on a sure path of mutual fulfillment of Kamiyan humanity. It is a way to live life in a true way of world peace. In Japanese, it is expressed as wakokoro, which in English, the peaceful and joyful heart in the divine reminder, is the essential foundation for human happiness. This true way of Konko will shine through heaven and last forever. Such an absolute way for human fulfillment was revealed when our founder had the most difficult time in his life and respected fully with sincerity. Our founder revealed the most benevolent deity, Tenchika no Kami, for the first time in this world through respecting the most fearful deity, Konjin to the fullest. Our founder said to one of his disciples, Mitsugoro Ikimura, if people lose their belief on this very day with a single heart, divine blessings are within your own peaceful, joyful heart. This is the core essence of the divine reminder. The world will be in turmoil. The glory of Kami and the glory of Parent will be gone. This teaching determined my way of life to serve Kami and people as a Konko minister with all my heart. Soon after, I became a trainee under the guide of the Reverend Soichiro Tsubo, founding minister of the Konko Church of Japan. I came across this teaching of our founders. I immediately realized this teaching would describe the ultimate way to lead us humans to true world peace. I was in college during the Vietnam War, and I was soon caught up in the anti-war movement on campus. I joined radical student movements. I devoted myself to these movements for 5 years, with understanding that as a Konko believer, I had to fight for people who are suppressed and discriminated against. I sincerely wanted to reform the world for the betterment of the people. But the radical student movement was sometimes next door to danger, and even death. Gradually, I became more actively involved in the movement. I felt more and more that I couldn't leave this world without seeking the kind of faith that Reverend Otsubo taught us. He called it a Wagakoro world. It will be a world in which everyone has heart filled with peace and joy, which is overflowing. Needless to say, I was deeply troubled by these conflicting loyalties in deciding just what I should do with my life. Then there came a turning point in my life. I had a divine dream. In my dream, a family saw the self-humiliation of Reverend Otsubo. My father introduced me to him. Reverend Otsubo said to me, "Masanori-san, the feeling which inspires you to fight for suppressed and discriminated people are the same as those through which Konko Church tries to help and support people in difficulties." I thought long and hard about this highly suggestive dream. I ultimately decided to return to the Iraq Church. I eagerly wanted to know the proper way to achieve ideal fulfillment. However, I felt like a sleepwalker for almost the entire year because I had to completely reorient my life from a path of one in which people are trying to reform the world, fighting by conflict, to a path toward peace and satisfaction by means of total acceptance. I had to learn to accept that even the severest separation or isolated condition of people is Kami's doing, and that it is necessary for the deepening and polishing of human hearts. My heart was torn in a continuous struggle between these two ways of thinking and living. Then, setting aside all my questioning, I made up my mind to try to find Reverend Otsubo's kind of faith practice, to believe that all is divine love, and to accept whatever occurs as evidence of the infinite workings of Kami. In the end, I was training under his guidance for nearly 20 years. Then, as I mentioned before, I came across this teaching of our founders. In other words, if people faithfully follow that and deepening this insight in their heart, Kami's glory will appear and true world peace will be attained. Kami's arrangements, our working definitely need to be the foundation in order to accomplish peace and justice throughout the world. The world is presently the reflection of the collective heart of self-centered human beings. The more we choose to turn and develop a heart for peace and joy, the more the heart of the entire human family will deepen toward peace and joy of the whole world, and the more our world will be blessed. Then finally, through Kami's great plan, human happiness and true world peace will be manifested. I would like to mention one example of the truth of this teaching that we all have experienced recently. Through Kami's arrangement, we are scheduled to have a church picnic on Labor Day, September 4th, this year for the first time since the Konko Church of Chicago was established. We went to Crystal Lake. 9 adults and 3 children participated in the picnic. I told them this seemed to be the first event of faith training outside our church. Let's try to vividly feel Kami's working through this picnic by keeping it in mind the divine blessing are within our own peaceful and joyful heart. I pray to Kami that we would be blessed to have a happy, grateful, and joyous time together, filled with peace and joy in the heart of all participants. We received Kami's awesome working throughout the entire day. We felt Kami's working so vividly that we couldn't help but extend our sincere appreciation to Kami. First of all, we are blessed with cloudy weather. That's why we could spread the seats on the lawn beside the picnic table. There's no trees, so in the shadow. The temperature was very comfortable, and we had a beautiful view of the lake. There was wonderful picnic food, from appetizer, salads, and main dishes to desserts. Everybody ate all together with great gusto. Just after we finished eating, it started to rain very lightly, but it didn't last a long time. The rain was another surprise blessing. There were several canceled boat reservations, so we rented 2 of them. There was an 8-passenger boat and a 4-passenger boat. The bigger boat had an engine, and our grandchildren enjoyed steering the boat. The smaller boat was labeled Boat 13. The number 13 is spread in the world to be a bad number because Christ was killed on the Friday the 13th. There is not a belief in good and bad numbers at all in the Konko faith. Rather, I think a great deal of 13 are the number of Kami's wish to be fulfilled in order to lead people in the world to recognize there are no such superstitions. Additionally, the 4 cars arrived there at almost the same time, 30 minutes after our appointed time, and we parked next to each other. At first it seemed a little cold to swim, but around 3 p.m. it was a little warmer, and our grandchildren could play at the beach. This picnic was one of the best we could possibly have had. We received Kami's blessing, and I was grateful to the bottom of my heart. I still felt sincere thanks when I offered my 4 o'clock silent morning prayer the next day. I felt so happy I sent this message in an email to everyone who had attended, and many replied that they too agree that we received Kami's wonderful arrangements. I am now practicing faith to deepen peace and joy in my heart at any time, awake or asleep, to embody the divine reminder. I now realize everything that happens in my life, small or big, is a very working of Kami, full of Kami's wish to develop peace and joy in my heart to the fullest. When I know for certain that I am born into this world for making clear this very point, a feeling of deeping for joy sometimes wells up in me. With that joy, I cannot help but pray for the true world peace and have the earnest desire to serve Kamian people